In today's news, the Commission of Inquiry proceeds in the British Virgin Islands, as well as a helicopter crash leaves 4 dead in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
In addition to that, former educator Claudia Creque dies, and the BVI is now set to observe World Poetry Week, of course, right here in the Virgin Islands. All that and so much more when 284 News returns.
Gentlemen, inspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jasper, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production.
Viewers, a pleasant 284 Media welcome to one and all. It is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. We are coming to you live straight out of the British Virgin Islands with your local, regional, and international content. Now, Javon, as the week progressed, much is going on in our little territory right here in the British Virgin Islands. But we're going to jump right into today's newscast. Now, in a press release from the Secretary of the Commission of Inquiry, gave an update on the steady progress of the Commission of Inquiry. Now, on January 22nd, that is, the Commissioner of Inquiry was sworn in and began his work from that day forward. Now, the Commissioner is extremely grateful for the information that has been shared to date and for the constructive engagement which he has received during his visit to the islands in January and February, and for the information which continues to flow in. This is according to the press release. Now, the Secretary to the Commissioner, Mr. Stephen Chandler, disclosed that the next stage of the inquiry expects to last several months, will involve seeking further information and documentation predominantly from the public officials, including elected and statutory body officials. Now, the Commissioner has been informed and welcomes that it is the BVI government's policy that all ministries, departments, statutory bodies, and government-owned entities provide appropriate and timely cooperation with this inquiry. He also understands that the Attorney General assists by the government's legal counsel will coordinate the implementation of that policy. Now, the Commission encouraged anyone who would like to submit information relating to the inquiry to do so as soon as possible via their secure website portal at www.bvi.public/inquiry.uk, as well as their website portal. The Commission has provided a number of different and secured ways for individuals to share information with the inquiry team, including a dedicated email address, a WhatsApp number for messages and audio and video calls, and a UK postal address, all detailed on their website. Now, of course, all the information received will be held in the strictest confidence. Javon, a few weeks ago, the Commissioner headed back to the UK, but here they are once again assuring the people of the Virgin Islands that they can send their information into the inquiry, and it will be held with the strictest confidence.
Well, so much conversation going on as it relates to the Commission of Inquiry.
Yes.
Very great interview that you did recently with the premier, the former premier of Turks and Caicos Islands. And we have seen the public engagement as it relates to the Commission of Inquiry. Lots of new questions are surfacing. Here we see persons that are now questioning why only one commissioner overseeing the inquiry, and now with the commissioner and his team intermittently between the Virgin Islands and the United Kingdom, persons are really questioning the process. In addition to that, we do know there's lots of community hesitation as it relates to generally speaking up and out for within our democratic right and our civic responsibility. Persons still are hesitant to speak out, and that is because we are so closely knitted. We
of course
technically know everyone. So there's lots coming out of the Commission of Inquiry, but like the Commissioner has reassured, it is still a safe process. Even in their absence, persons can still reach out and communicate any form of concern.
Of course, I think we do want a transparent and fair trial as it pertains to this inquiry. And I think much needs to be done for the people of the Virgin Islands to be able to be reassured and really know what they are getting into. As you said, that interview is on our social media page as well as our website. If persons want to go ahead and hear a little bit about what the former Premier of Turks and Caicos had to say about their experience with the Commission of Inquiry. I think the people of the Virgin Islands have a lot of questions that they continue to ask, and of course we will try our best to help them navigate through that.
And many of those questions, by the way, were answered within that interview. Very good interview as it relates to a reference of a path that the BVI could possibly be leading on. So viewers, check out the interview if you're yet to do so. Now, as we move on, the territory is now mourning the death of former educator Claudia Creque, who dedicated some 44 years of service to the island of Anegada. Now, the government school, as we all know, was also dedicated in her honor. Now, the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Sports, Agriculture, and Fisheries, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, said she was a stalwart educator who played a molding role in the classroom and beyond. Listen in.
I offer sincere condolences to the family of Claudia Creque, the entire island of Anegada, and the entire Virgin Islands. She was a stalwart educator who worked in Anegada at the Anegada school that later was named in her honor. She started her teaching career in 1962 and continued in education until her retirement in 2004. And even then, she was still involved in tutoring young people and working with the preschool. So it would be fair to say that she was one of our stalwart and pioneering educators, especially on the island of Anegada. One of our greatest achievements is helping to usher in secondary education in Anegada, which would have provided much more educational opportunities for the inhabitants of that island. I celebrate her awesome achievements in education, and may her soul rest in eternal peace.
That was Overseeing Education Minister Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley. Now, also speaking to the loss was the current principal of the Claudia Creque Educational Center, Mrs. Lisa Vanterpool Nelson. Here's what she had to say.
Teacher Claudia was the backbone of the school. She always put others before self. She went above and beyond to help all students. All the local teachers currently on staff were trained by her, and we worked with her for many years. She was always available to give advice and help develop our teaching skills. She always taught us to give our best. She will be greatly missed, and we will always remember the impact that she had on our school, CCEC.
Kyla, such a big loss for the Anegada committee, but even beyond, the entire BVI is now mourning the death of a stalwart educator who was able to really contribute to education and the benefits that we're able to reap from that as of today. But even beyond that, really reaching back beyond her retirement and assisting in so many community projects, lending her expertise and her skills to the community. So we want to extend our sincerest condolences, not just to the family, the friends and fans of the late Claudia Creque, but also anyone who was impacted by her life, her students.
And I'm sure that's far and wide.
And by extension, all of the BVI. So viewers, of course, we encourage you to extend your condolences as well.
Most definitely. Now, viewers, still ahead, the BVI to absorb World Poetry Week, as well as a helicopter crash over in the U.S. Virgin Island, leave 4 dead. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that fire like a rocket. Say the word, you know I'm ready to go. I don't just talk that talk, I'm talking. Yeah, I walk that walk, I'm walking. Yeah, I'm on it, but you already know. Tell your father, your mother, your sister, and your brother. Go and tell everyone you know. Get your uncle, your neighbor, your auntie, that's your favorite. Cause we know that this road's gonna blow.
Hey Johnson, what's up? Well, you look like you're about to pass out.
I think I am. But anyhow,
Cho, what you doing?
remember last year when I spoke to you over the phone? When I said, well. Anyhow, ever since that moment, I was wanting to take this step further with you.
OMG, Johnson!
I want to know if you, Via, would officially have me as your sales rep with a friend
What?
to get live with our February promotions.
Huh?
Get live, get love, and get gifted. Bring a friend to CCT to sign up for a freedom plan. Take a picture with them in the store and post to social media with the hashtag GetLiveCCT. Then put your receipt with your number in the golden basket and wait on a call from Jante. First place gets $500 each. Second place matching Samsung Galaxy A30s, and third place $150 shopping vouchers each to One Mart.
So what you really saying?
Really? And I could bring a friend too?
More the merrier.
Kyla, it is still Love Month, so of course persons can still take advantage. I just absolutely love that.
Of course.
I think it's so
Of
genius.
course.
So for yours, of course, you can check out CCT for all your February deals. It's still Love Month, and we're still cashing in on those amazing deals. Now, the BVI National Commission for UNESCO will be hosting a week of activities in March in observance of World Poetry Day. Now, the Secretary General for the BVI National Commission for UNESCO, Dr. Alison Flax Archer, shared that the activities, including a poetry competition, will be held under the theme Perspectives of Our Past, the Unsung Heroes. And of course, it's open for submission up until World Poetry Day, which is Sunday, March 21st. Dr. Flax Archer said that this year's theme is a collaborative effort with the Department of Culture to invoke pride in the community towards persons who would have paved the way for the future. Dr. Flax Archer said, and I quote, "As poetry continues to bring our people together, it is hoped that persons will write about our heroes, but also consider looking beyond the obvious and share perspectives about many of the unsung heroes, inclusive of our doctors, midwives, and names of persons whose schools have been named after, just to name a few." End of quote. The Secretary General further added, however, she said, and I quote, "It is expected that poets will use their cultural memory or do research to learn about our unsung heroes, because poetry also lies at the heart of who we are as women and men, and as a territory, we should all be held accountable to draw on the heritage of the past generations, because we are custodians of the British Virgin Islands, the world, and our children and grandchildren." Now, viewers, the poetry competition guidelines are as follows. First of all, it commenced yesterday, so yesterday, February 15th, but that will run up until March 21st, which is actually World Poetry Day. The theme, again, is Perspectives of Our Past, the Unsung Heroes. And these are the 4 prime categories under which our young people can apply. We have ages 5 to 7, we have ages 8 to 10, 11 to 13, and finally 14 to 17. If you are interested, or you are your child, of course, you can send your poems to AFLAX, that is AFLAX -Archer at gov.vg. Now, viewers, during the week, there will be school visitations, as it's usually the case every year. And the culmination of the poetry competition will be at a poetry reading session that will be held at the Sushi Bar. That is on Wednesday, March 22nd. Other local poets, including our very own poet laureate, Dr. Richard Georges, will definitely be featured at that event. The week of activities will also include a writing workshop organized in collaboration with the Department of Culture. And of course, for more information on that, you can contact the department by email at viculture@gov.vg. Now, for those who may not know, UNESCO first adopted the poetry competition on March 21st as part of World Poetry Day during its 30th General Conference in Paris in 1999. The BVI National Commission observes the day annually by highlighting its importance. Now, Kyla, when we think about the arts and the importance of creative expression, one of the things we look forward to is March 21st every year, because it really lends to, or really provides a platform really for our local creatives. A lot of people are into music. A lot of people don't know that music simply began as poetry. And so it's just wonderful to see how words can marry, like Dr. Flax Archer has said, history and culture, and really bring something beautiful alive. So I'm really happy to see us not only observing World Poetry Day, but by extension now World Poetry Week, giving young BV Islanders and residents alike the opportunity to express
I'm glad
themselves.
you said a platform. I think that's exactly what it is for young poets and English majors, giving them that opportunity to show their talent within the BVI, that this is something that you're passionate about and we are here to support you. So I'm very happy to see we as a territory moving forward in this way.
And of course, our minister, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Whitley himself, a current poet actually. So I'm very happy to see the ministry really embracing it in this very passionate way.
I agree. I can't agree more. Now, tragic news coming out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, a helicopter crash in Botany Bay area in the U.S. Virgin Islands Monday afternoon took 4 lives. Now, the VI Territorial Emergency Management Agency confirmed, but little information has become available officially about the incident as of Monday evening. Now, the series of events at 6:45 p.m., the Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency released a statement saying only that the crash had taken place at approximately 3 p.m. and that a number of VI government agencies responded to the site. At 7:39 p.m., the same agency confirmed 4 dead as the search of the crash site continued. None of the deceased were identified pending notification of a next of kin. Now, informed sources said 4 people and the pilot were aboard the craft when it left Cyril E. King Airport Monday afternoon for a short trip to the western end of St. Thomas. Now, Fire Service Director Darrell George Sr., the incident commander, said late Monday night the crash happened in a heavily wooded area. First responders were able to find the crash site and quickly extinguish the fire. However, he said, due to the dense bushes and quickly darkened conditions, the search would have continued this morning. He expressed his gratitude to all the emergency services personnel who participated at the scene and his deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. At the scene, alongside, there were many personnel, the VI Fire Services, Port Authority, the VI Police Department, St. Thomas Rescue and Emergency Management Services. So many first responders were out there. Now, of course, this story is still developing, but just a very sad and tragic day over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, very close to home. And now 4 persons are now dead and a family is mourning.
Absolutely, and especially for the children. We do know that government officials and many persons across the USVI have been expressing their condolences, but it's just a really tragic moment. It takes us back to the crash with Kobe Bryant. I think that's as close to home as it hits. But to see children especially go down in this way, it's very tragic. But also recognizing that even the pilot, she was such a celebrated pilot. She won Pilot of the Year a few years ago in the USVI. So these persons were very popular and well known for whoever they were in their various capacities. So again, just very tragic. But we want to extend our deepest condolences to the extended family over there in the USVI as they mourn the deaths of these 4 identified, but 5 persons on that plane. I'm assuming they're still trying to find that 5th person. But it's very daunting, very sad. And again, our deepest sympathies to the families and friends of these families.
Of course.
Viewers, still ahead, vaccine trials has now begun on children. And we are also looking across in the USVI as well. They're promoting antibody treatments for COVID-19, which is technically a new development within this fight against COVID-19. So stick with us. You're watching 284 News.
The win! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin'? What's really good? What's happening? What's happening? What's up?
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News as we look across on the international scene. New developments as it relates to the trials on the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, the efficacy of the Oxford/AstraZeneca vaccine in children is now due to be tested in a new clinical trial beginning this month. Up to 240 children receiving the vaccine and the others receiving a controlled meningitis jab. Now, Andrew Pollard, professor of pediatric infection and immunity and the chief investigator of the Oxford vaccine trials, said, and I quote, "While most children are relatively unaffected by coronavirus and are unlikely to become unwell with the infection, it is important to establish the safety and immune response to the vaccine in children and young people as some children may benefit from the vaccination. These new trials will extend our understanding of the control of the SARS-CoV-19 to young-aged groups." Now, earlier this week, England's Deputy Chief Medical Officer said several trials were on the way to develop vaccines that are safe and effective in teenagers. Professor Van Tam said, and I quote, "I believe most of the major manufacturers are now starting to turn their attention to whether we can do some clinical trials to prove that our vaccines are safe and effective in children. And it is perfectly possible that we will have some licensed children's vaccines for COVID-19 by the end of the year. It is perfectly possible, but not assured. That shouldn't put you off, though. It is if your doctor agrees with you that it's the right thing for your son or daughter to be vaccinated because of their vulnerability. But it is an individual and always an individual decision when you are using vaccines and medicines outside of the label." Now, viewers, evidence of whether the vaccine reduces transmission remains unclear, though there are positive indications from Israel with the Pfizer jab, as well as similarly favorable preliminary findings on the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. The University of Oxford said theirs was the first trial in the 6 to 17 age group. It also said that adult trials had begun, but only measuring efficacy in those ages 16 and 17. Kyla, very happy to see AstraZeneca, one of the major brands approved in the UK, moving forward with trials as it relates to our children we have seen how COVID-19 has really played a negative effect on especially education as it relates to our children, but even the social development and the emotional well-being of our children, and really disrupted their program, their rhythm. So I'm happy to see not only are we taking a step further as it relates to testing and trials, but hopefully we can be able to get to the next target, which is pregnant women, because children and pregnant women were exempted from the initial trials.
Most definitely. We see here where, as it pertains to COVID-19, much testing and scientific advancements are being made. And in this next story, we will see this. Now, over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the VI Department of Health on Saturday promoted an antibody treatment, stating that the drugs are available for individuals infected with COVID-19 who meet the criteria. Now, the Department of Health announced that the antibody treatment, along with rising infections in St. Thomas, which the Department of Health said had doubled recently. In a statement, they said, and I quote, "As of February 11th, there are 101 active COVID-19 cases in the territory, and the department reported the 25th death related to COVID-19 as of Wednesday. This illustrates how dire the situation still is in the territory despite serious mitigation efforts and the policies set forth by the government." This was released by the department. Now, the Department of Health said that the Food and Drug Administration authorized the emergency use of a list of drugs, which are monoclonal antibody treatments designed to block viral attachment and entry into human cells. Now, these antibodies neutralize the virus and could potentially treat patients with COVID-19. The antibodies were identified from blood samples taken from some of the first patients who recovered from COVID-19 in the United States. The treatments are most suitable for treating mid to moderate COVID-19 in adults and in pediatric patients aged 12 and older, weighing at least 88 pounds, who are at high risk for progressing to more severe illnesses or hospitalization. This is said by the Department of Health. Now, to be considered high-risk, patients must meet at least one of the following criteria, which are being significantly obese, have chronic kidney disease, have diabetes, as currently receiving any sort of treatment for immunosuppressive disease, are 65 or older, or 55 or older. So, Javon, of course, viewers, we have more of this on our website, but here we see more advancements as it pertains to COVID-19. Researchers are very hopeful that all these advancements, the vaccine, these treatments, would help us to be a bit closer as it pertains to the end of this pandemic.
And we're hoping so, Carla. There's lots of information to go around. Again, viewers, be sure to visit our website. That is 284media.com. But for now, this is all the time we have. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. We'll see you again tomorrow for your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. Have a good evening.